Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod's IAS classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to discuss current affairs of 24th January 2022. In this lecture, we are going to discuss 7 topics which are very much relevant from our UPSC point of view. So let's get started with our discussion and let us try to see which are the topics now we are going to have our discussion. First topic is about fiscal consolidation. So this article mainly says about, so how can we go for this fiscal consolidation? So first of all, you need to know what is the meaning of this fiscal consolidation here, right? So after discussing what is the meaning of this fiscal consolidation, we are going to see what is written in this article. So this is important from our economy point of view, which mainly comes in a GS paper 3. And next topic, it is about false dichotomy. So actually this topic, it is about OBC reservation. Okay, 27% of OBC reservation in this all India quota of this NEET. Already background regarding this topic had been discussed in our earlier lectures, and in this lecture we are going to see in detail regarding this topic. Next topic, it is about stellar fallacy. So this article which is talking about is environmental impact assessment. Okay, that is about environment clearances for projects. So it is especially talking about star rating status. This article is important from our environment and ecology, which mainly comes under GS paper 3. Next topic, it is about education emergency. So what is this education emergency? Now we are in this COVID-19 period, right? So now we are in third wave of this COVID-19 pandemic. And again, in many states, they went for closure of schools, in our state as well. So because of this, here in next month, we are going to see our budget will come into picture. So in this budget, so how much amount center is going to spend and even state is going to spend regarding education. So that is the thing which mainly talked in this article. This is important from education, which mainly comes in the GS paper 2. And next topic, it is about Omicron is community transmission. In community transmission. So this is the thing which mainly said by INSACOG. So here you need to focus on what is this community transmission. So I selected this topic. Okay, you need to revise what is this community transmission. This topic is important from your health, which mainly comes in the GS paper 2. And next topic, it is regarding Subhash Chandra Bose. So there is one image I found in page number 1. So because of this, we need to talk about Subhash Chandra Bose, because every year 23rd January is celebrated as the Subhash Chandra Bose Jayanti. And this topic is important from our history, which mainly comes in the GS paper 1. And next topic, it is regarding oil spill. So oil spill, it is one of the important topic in your static syllabus from your environment and ecology. So if there is any topic which comes in news regarding your static syllabus, that will be important from your UPSC. So these are 7 topics now we are going to have our discussion. So let's get started with our discussion and let us try to see first topic. Title says, a chance to support growth, fiscal consolidation. Okay, so here what happened from last 2 years onwards, after entry of this COVID-19 into our lives, that mainly devastated our economy, right? Our economic activities, almost all types of economic activities, they have been disrupted because of this COVID-19. So in this budget, okay, we need to go for supporting of our growth, and we need to go for fiscal consolidation. So first of all, you need to know what is the definition of this fiscal consolidation. Without explaining you about this fiscal consolidation, if I go into this topic directly, then it will be a waste of your time and my time. So now let us try to understand what is this fiscal consolidation. Fiscal consolidation is nothing but, so whenever government is mainly going outside to get some money, borrowing or lending, that will lead to deficit, right? Government will be having deficit. And what happened? Government will be having debt. So mainly to decrease that government deficit and decrease the debt, so government need to come up with some policies. Okay, so policies that are mainly aimed at reducing this government debt and as well as government deficit. So those policies are called as fiscal consolidation. So we can apply this fiscal consolidation in our daily life also. For example, if you are a student, yes, most of you are students. So you will be staying in hostel or PG, right? And you will be getting some money from your family. But if that money is not sufficient, you will be going for borrowing money from your friends. And finally, you need to repay those money that you borrow from your friends. Okay? So to repay your money, if you are getting a constant, for example, so much, rupees 10,000 from your family, and if you want to pay the money that you borrowed, you need to come up with decreasing of some of your expenditure, like going outside or going for restaurants and so. So those are some policies, right? So what are the steps that you are going to take maybe to save some money, and that money should be given or returned back to your friend. So this is nothing but fiscal consolidation. So if you're talking in a larger perspective regarding government, so what is this fiscal consolidation? It is nothing but whatever the concrete policies that mainly aim at reducing the government deficit and debt accumulation, then those is called as a fiscal consolidation. So why now this fiscal consolidation is in news? Because NSO, National Statistical Office, recently released National Accounts Estimates of 2021 to 2022. Okay, and in this estimate, it mainly said that India's real GDP growth in 2021-2022, it is estimated at 9.2%. So this National Accounts Estimate of this National Statistical Office, which is very much less than compared to that of estimates of IMF and as well as the Reserve Bank of India. So this is one cause of concern. So why there is decreasing of this estimate? So now we are in this third wave of this coronavirus, right? So because of this third wave, it is mainly going to affect our growth rate. Okay? And apart from this, there are many sectors. For example, trade, transport on the output side, and private final consumption expenditure. So there are some important sectors like trade, transport, they will be providing large scale of employment, right? So in these sectors also we are seeing there is some lag. Okay, so because of these two reasons, what happened? There is decreasing of economic estimates, okay, national growth estimate. So if you're talking about this growth prospect, with respect to prospects of this 2020 to 2023 growth, IMF and as well as OECD forecast, they had indicated growth rates of about 8.5% and 8.1% respectively. But as per this National Statistical Office, NSO advanced estimates, the magnitude of this GDP in real terms, which mainly estimated like 147.5 lakh crore. Okay, and it is somewhat less when we are compared to the of this 145.7. okay, it is one of higher when we are comparing with that of this 2019 to 2020. So due to these three waves of this COVID-19, so that India has experienced, so 2 years of real growth in economic activities has been wiped out. So because of this novel coronavirus which entered into our lives, that had been wiped out economic activities. Okay, what is the growth that was going to be given by this economic activity that had been wiped out because of this COVID-19 pandemic. And next one is growth in this 2022-23 would depend on basic determinants. For example, how much amount of saving you are doing, how much amount of investment rate that is seen in economy. So these are some important determinants of this growth in 2020-2023. And as per advanced estimates, so the gross fixed capital formation relative to GDP at current prices, which mainly stands at 29.6% in 2021-2022. Okay, and even final consumption expenditure also, which is a very low growth of about 6.9% in 2021-2022. So this is the data regarding our economy, how it is going now. So here this article also says that there is also low income growth, which is mainly registered or recorded in number of sectors here. For example, trade, transport, and even MSME sector here. So because of this, it mainly affected unorganized sector, and even it has some impact on economy and employment as well. And even if you're talking about this global crude oil prices, okay, so what happened, growth in 2022-2023, it will also continue to be constrained by supply side bottlenecks, and even there is also high price of this global crude oil which mainly recorded. So whenever there is increasing of this global crude oil prices, so overall transportation cost will be increased, and finally we can see there will be inflation in the market. So here this article also says that inflation has been increased, right? So if we're talking about what would be the expenditure priorities, so priorities mainly includes, so first one, we need to focus on consumption. We need to give some stimulus to the people such that consumption should be increased. So whenever consumption is increased means there will be increase in the demand in the market, and finally that will revive the economic growth. And we need to focus on investment as well. So in these two areas we need to go for prioritizing of our expenditure. And even we have this national infrastructure pipeline scheme, right? So we need to focus on that, and even we need to focus on infrastructure investment as well, right? And even we need to provide some support to the people, especially through this employment guarantee schemes like MG Narega scheme in rural areas, and we need to come up with this type of scheme in even urban areas as well. Okay, and finally author says that revival of the economy of 2022 to 2023, it mainly depends upon containing the adverse economic impact of third wave of this COVID-19 and subsequent waves to minimum. So this is gist of this topic, and I hope it is very much clear. Now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding false dichotomy. So actually this article, which is mainly talking about 20% of reservation for this OBC category in this all India quota for this need. So now let us try to talk about this topic in a very great detail. So this will be important from your GS paper to under polity. So if you're talking about why it is in news, already we saw this infographic in our earlier lectures. So if you see context, Supreme Court has pronounced that its decision upholding this 27% of reservation for this OBC other backward classes in NEET All India quota seats for UG and PG courses, PG medical courses. So recently Supreme Court said that yes, we can go for providing of 27% reservation for this other backward class in this NEET All India quota for undergraduate and as well as postgraduate medical courses. So if we're talking about what is the issue here is in this Indra Sahani case. In the Indra Sahani case, Supreme Court came up with a cap for reservation, that is 50% of reservation should not cross 50%. So because of this, petitioners and several NEET aspirants, they had argued that Supreme Court had limited reservation of 50% in this Indra Sahani judgment, and government should have first applied to court before tinkering the quota calculation. So here many petitioners and many NEET aspirants say that before calculating this quota, here government came up with this increasing of a reservation category. And in this context, court further confirmed that there was no need for the center to got the prior consent to the Supreme Court before introducing this OBC quota in this all India quota seats for NEET. So this is the thing which mainly said by our court. And court also reasoned that material affluence of certain individual members of socially backward groups or creamy layers could not be used against the entire group to deny it benefits of reservation. So your court said that, court gave a reason that certain individual members of the society who are mainly belonging to the socially backward classes or any creamy layer could not be used against the entire group to deny the benefits of reservation. If some people, they are mainly coming under this creamy layer, means we should not keep this entire group which mainly belongs to the socially backward classes to deny the benefits from their reservation. So if you're talking about background here, government introduced this OBC or economically weaker sections quota before this NEET counseling. Later on, candidates mainly applied for this NEET PG. They were not provided any information on distribution of this seat matrix. Okay, so because of this, such information which mainly provided by counseling authority, only after this counseling session it is going to be begin, right? So in this context, what is the key observations of the Supreme Court? Supreme Court said that reservation is not at odds with merit. Okay, reservation is not at odds with merit. So it mainly observed that merit could not be narrowed to the limit of success in open competitive exams. Okay, merit could not be narrowed. And merit of a person, it is a sum of total lived experiences and his or her struggle to overcome cultural, social setbacks. So this is the thing which mainly said by the Supreme Court. So we are talking about what is the major justification for reservations? The Supreme Court said that exams do not reflect how social, how economical and how cultural advantages that accrue to certain classes which mainly contributed to their success in them, right? Examinations are not a proxy for merit. Okay, merit should be socially contextualized and as well as reconceptualized. So if we are talking about constitutionality of decision, so we have number of articles in our constitution which mainly talks about reservation. So court said that state governments, they can provide reservations under Article 15 subclass 4 and Article 15 subclass 5 of Indian Constitution. Okay, and our constitution also enshrines that state shall not discriminate against any citizen on grounds of religion, race, caste, sex and place of birth. Okay, and this is some important things that you need to remember. And now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding a stellar fallacy. So if you're talking about stellar fallacy, it is talking about star rating system. So this star rating system, it is mainly regarding environment clearances. So what is this environment clearances? For example, if I am a contractor, if I want to go for laying of a road in so and so area. So if I want to go for laying of road or if I want to come up with any mining project, so I need to take permission from the government, right? So here for this developmental project, if I want to go for cutting of trees or if it is having some negative impact on biodiversity which is present in that area, so here government need to provide environment clearances, right? So this article which mainly says that recently Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change launched this star rating system. Okay, recently Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change launched this star rating system, and this system which mainly provides environment clearances for short duration. It is made to provide environment clearances in a short duration. So if you're talking about what is this star rating system, so star rating system, it is nothing but Environment Ministry. It is mainly going to rank and it is going to give some incentives to the states with this new system. So with the star rating system, Environment Ministry, it is going to rank and it is going to incentivize the states with this new system. And this ministry, okay, the ministry will find out the states that provide environmental clearances efficiently in a short duration of time. So in short duration of time, which are the states which are mainly providing environmental clearances, so they will be provided with some incentives. So it will then incentivize such states. Okay, so in this incentivizing those states, star rating system which mainly provides marks to the states here. The states mainly receive 2 marks for clearing project within less than 80 days, and they are going to get 1 mark if they are going for giving the environment clearance within 105 days. Okay, and if they are crossing this duration means they are not going to get any marks. So this is the star rating system. So what is a star rating system? What are the important features? So it mainly introduces conditions for the state environment impact assessment authorities. So we have the state environment impact assessment authorities, and it mainly provides some conditions. So what are those conditions? First one is they will go for proposals which are mainly waiting for more than 30 days. Okay, they need to go for giving this environment clearances for the proposals which are waiting for more than 30 days. And they also talk about TO or terms of reference. So these terms of reference proposals which are mainly waiting for more than 30 days, and percentage of disposal of fresh terms of reference. And also talking about environment clearances which is mainly waiting for more than 105 days, and also says that complaints to be reassessed. Okay, and this system especially will provide the state environment impact assessment authorities. Okay, it mainly provides star rating for these authorities, and the rating is provided which is mainly based on performance of authorities from last 6 months. From last 6 months onwards, the rating will be given based on these performances, and the ratings will be updated in a month end. Okay, and the average time which is mainly taken to grant clearances which had been decreased to 75 days, but earlier it was like 105 days, and these 105 days they are in the accordance to the environment impact assessment notification 2006, and but now it decreases to 75 days. So now let us try to talk about what is the division of power, how division of power that is present between the states and center. Okay, regarding this new star rating system. So this system which mainly says that infrastructure projects should be approved first by the state environment impact assessment authorities, and after once here these are approved by the state environment impact assessment authorities, and they shall constitute committees. Okay, they shall constitute committees, and these committees mainly contains environmental experts and as well as some state officers. And if you're talking about projects, we will be having category A and category B. So category A projects clearances will be done by center, and category B projects clearances will be done by states. And these category B projects which mainly includes, for example, mining, small mining, building, construction, small industry projects, etc. So what is the need here? So the need here is when we want to improve in our ease of doing business, so this type of systems are very much necessary. Okay, and these clearances, early clearances will also helpful for completion of projects in a less time. Okay, that will also increases our efficiency as well. So if we're talking about what are the concerns, so the proposed system is in the violation of Environment Protection Act of 2006, and the aim and the focus on clearing this project in a short duration of time. So it is also one cause of concern. Okay, and here while this environmental clearances which is mainly focusing on health of environment. Okay, so whenever we are going for decreasing of time for this environment clearances, then that will also leads to some environmental loss as well. So this is gist of this topic, and now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding education emergency. So this article which is mainly talking about data which is not present, but here we are not focusing on data, but here we are focusing on what is the need in this education emergency. So this topic is important from our education, which mainly comes under our GS paper 2. So now let us try to see why it is in news. So in February we are going to have our budget. You all know that in February we are going to have our budget. So in the current budget session, how much money the central and state governments will allocate to education and for what purpose should be a matter of public concern. It is debate now. Okay, so in this budget, how much amount of money will be allocated by center and how much money will be allocated by states for education. So it is one of the matter of public concern, and it is in now debates. So even before this pandemic, public spending on education in most of the states was below the other middle income countries. Okay, so before pandemic itself, the public spending on education in most states was below that of other middle income countries. And if you see some major states, Some major states, they are spending about 2.5 to 3.1% of states' income on education. So this is according to the report of Ministry of Education analysis. So if we're talking about spending on education, okay, now at present we are in this education emergency. Okay, so in this education emergency, so if we're talking about public spending on education, it is one of the more effective thing that we need to focus now. Okay, so if we're talking about budget of 2021 to 2022 budget, so from the government side, central government side and as well as state government side, we can see there is a very less contribution to education. And the central government's allocation for education department was slashed compared to that of previous year. So compared to that of previous year, central government's allocation regarding this education department had been slashed. And if you're talking about some important major states, 8 states they reduced or just maintained the budget allocation same for education. But 7 states they increased it to 2.2 to 5%. But only 6 states they came up with allocation which is more than 5%. Okay, so in this way I can say that education system now needs not only an infusion of resources for multiple years, but we need to also focus on poor and as well as needs of disadvantaged children, because majority of 260 million children who are enrolled in preschool and as well as school, especially in some government schools, they did not have meaningful structured learning opportunities. Okay, so we need to focus here, because many children they had been lost basic numeracy and they did not have proper habit of learning in these last 2 years, and millions of children they had been disengaged from the education, and because of there is no proper contact with the teachers. So in this context, what is the need? So the need here is we need to go for back to school campaigns, and we need to focus on re-enrollment drives, and we need to go for expansion of nutritional campaigns to address this malnutrition in children, and we need to go for reorganization of curriculum to help children to learn language and as well as mathematics in particular, and we need to focus on additional learning materials, we need to focus on teacher training, ongoing support, additional education programs, etc. And to also go for additional teachers and teaching aids. Okay, and we need to go for transfer of students from private schools, and even we need to go for proper collection analysis of data here. Okay, and even though the data which is given by this UNESCO 2030 framework says that, so we need to go for increasing of this public education spending levels, and that should be between 4% and 6% of GDP, and it should be about 15 to 20% of total public expenditure as well. And even World Bank study which mainly says that India is spending like 14.1% of this budget on education, but if you are comparing with other countries like Vietnam, they are spending 18.5%, Indonesia which is mainly spending 20.6%. So finally this article says that we need to increase our spending in this education. So this is gist of this topic. And now let us try to see next topic. It is regarding community transmission. So this article is important from your GS paper to under health. So now let us try to see context. If you see context, it mainly says that Omicron is now in community transmission in India. Okay, and this Omicron variant which has become one of the dominant in multiple metros. There is day by day increasing of number of COVID-19 cases. Okay, so if we're talking about details, it mainly says that INSACOG, which jointly initiated by this Union Health and Family Welfare Ministry and the Department of Biotechnology and others, it is a consortium of about 38 laboratories, right? So it came up with the recent bulletin. It mainly said that increasing of number of cases which are related to this Omicron, and this Omicron had been seen like they are having a very mild symptoms and as well as asymptomatic hospitalizations, and even ICU admissions are very much less, okay, regarding this Omicron. So we are talking about what is this community transmission. So community transmission is nothing but the virus which is very much fastly spreading in community, and even this virus have the capability to even affect the people with no history of travel to affected areas, or to contact or to come up with the contact with this infected person as well. Okay, so in India we are taking number of steps like social distancing, and even we are going for discouragement of public gatherings, etc. And these are the steps that are mainly taken especially to control this community transmission. Once this community transmission which mainly begins means it will become very difficult to trace the contacts. So this is just of this topic, and now let us move on to next topic. Actually, this is the one hologram of this Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, which is mainly projected in this India Gate. So because of this, now we have to go to some facts regarding this Subhash Chandra Bose. So if you see context, recently the government which mainly decided to install a grand statue of this Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose at India Gate, and it is made to commemorate 125th birth anniversary, anniversary celebrations. So this is very important from your upcoming prelims. So we're talking about birth of this Subhash Chandra Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose was born on 23rd January 1897 in Calcutta, in Cuttack he was born, and his mother name was Prabhavati Dutt Bose, and next one is Janaki Nath Bose. So his Jayanti is celebrated as this Parakram Divas on 23rd January. So if we're talking about education, early life of the Subhash Chandra Bose, in 1919 he cleared Indian Civil Services examination, but he resigned later on. First of all, he was highly influenced by this Swami Vivekananda teaching, and he considered him as his spiritual guru. And his political mentor was Chittaranjan Das. Okay, and if you're talking about association with Congress, he mainly opposed Motilal Nehru report, and he spoke for dominion status for India. And he mainly actually participated in the Sal Satyagraha in 1930, and he also opposed the suspension of the civil disobedience movement and even signing of Gandhi-Irwin Pact in 1931. So in 1930s, he also associated with these leftist policies in Congress along with Jawaharlal Nehru and as well as M.N. Rai. And Subhash Chandra Bose won the Congress presidential elections at Haripura session in 1938. And even he won in 1939 in Tripuri session. And later on he founded a new party. The name of that new party was the Forward Bloc. And the purpose it is to mainly consolidate political left and as well as to provide some major support base in his home state, that is Bengal. So we're talking about some facts regarding this INA, Indian National Army. So he reached Japanese controlled Singapore from Germany in year 1943, and from there he mainly started a famous call, that is Delhi Chalo. And if you're talking about this INA, so this INA was first formed under this Mohan Singh and Japanese major. And this INA which mainly comprised of Indian prisoners of war of British Indian Army. Later on this INA included both Indian prisoners of war from Singapore. It also includes Indian civilians in the Southeast Asia. So these are some important facts that you need to remember. And now let us try to see next topic is regarding environment emergency. So as you all know that volcanic eruption that happened in the Tonga Islands, right? So because of this, one oil spill that occurred because of these rogue waves, and now Peru declared environmental emergency to battle against this oil spill. So if you see some details, it mainly says that a stunningly powerful eruption of a volcano that mainly seen in this Tonga Islands. So because of this, rogue waves or freak waves that appeared in the coast, and in Peru the oil spill which mainly occurred near Lima. So because of this oil spill which mainly killed birds, which mainly harmed fishing and as well as tourist industries in this area. So now let us try to talk some facts regarding this oil spill. So what is this oil spill? Oil spill which mainly refers to uncontrolled release of crude oil, gasoline or any fuel or any oil byproducts into the environment. So this oil spill which mainly happens on even land, even in air, water, etc. So now let us try to see environmental impacts regarding this oil spill. First one here is This oil spill, it poses a major threat to indigenous people. So oil spill mainly poses some health hazards for indigenous population who mainly depend on the seafood. And next one is it is also harmful for this aquatic life. So oil which is mainly forming a thin film over the water because of variations in the density. So because of this, it will not allow the adequate sunlight to penetrate into the water, and it also decreases the dissolving of oxygen. So because of this, it will lead to suffocation. And next one is hypothermia. So whenever any birds who are coming into contact with this oil which is mainly floating on the water, so the water, the fur that is present on the birds, so this will be coated with the oil. So because of this, that will mainly decrease the temperature of these birds, right? So this crude oil mainly retains insulating and waterproofing properties of these feathers and fur of the birds, and it is also very much toxic. Okay, ingestion of this crude oil which is also affecting animals, and it also affects the reproductive cycle or reproductive rate of animals especially, and is also posing a threat through these mangroves as well. So these salt water marshes and as well as mangrove, they frequently suffer from these oil spills. And if we're talking about what are the remedies, so these remedies will be very important from your mains point of view. So first one is bioremediation. So in this bioremediations, bacteria that can be used to clean up oil spills in the oceans through this bioremediation. So several bacteria can be used to bioremediate specific contaminants like hydrocarbons, etc. And next one is we can use some bacteria like Parapleurobacter and as well as Cycloclastis, Olispira, Thalassitosis, Zooxania. So these are some important bacteria that can be used as bioremediation. And next one is containment booms. So we can use some floating barriers called as booms. So these mainly restrict the spreading of this oil. Okay. And next one is skimmers. Skimmers means nothing but whenever we are mainly using some devices that mainly separating the spilled oil from the water surface. And sorbents. Sorbents means we can use straw or volcanic ash and some powders that will mainly absorb in this oil. And this one is we can use some dispersing agents. So these are the chemicals that mainly contain surfactants. Okay, and these mainly break liquid substances such as oil into the small droplets. So these are the some important measures that can be taken. And now let us try to see questions of last class. So first question is about rubber production. So first statement here is, first let us try to see the question. So Kerala has outpaced every other state in the country in terms of rubber production. The reasons being, it has hot and humid climate with precipitation more than 200 centimeters annually, and very small dry spell during the summers for 22 to 3 months, and well drained rich soil with gentle slope with no stagnation of water. So actually the first statement is correct, second statement is correct, and third statement is incorrect because it does not have red soil but it will have laterite soil. So correct option will be 1 and 2 only. And next question is regarding wheat production. So what are the factors that have favored the wheat production in northwest India? So first one here is western disturbance. Yes, western disturbance will cause winter rainfall. This is very much essential for this rabi crop. And next one is fertile alluvial soil brought down mainly by Indus and Ganga river system. Yes, this statement is also absolutely correct. And next one is semi-arid region. So it will not consider the semi-arid region at all. So that option will be 1 and 2 only. And next question is regarding trees found in western side of Western Ghats and in northeastern region generally do not shed their leaves. That means they will come under this evergreen forest. So what are the reasons? These regions do not have prolonged dry season. Yes, of course. And these regions do not have severe winters. Yes. These regions have a humidity level beyond 75% throughout the year. Yes, this statement is also absolutely correct. So correct option here is all the above. So this is the explanation part and solution for questions of last session. And now let us try to see the today's questions. So before seeing this today's questions, I want to make a small announcement on this platform. If you want to clear this UPSC, I will strongly suggest you people to join this prelims test series and as well as mains answer writing course that we are offering in this Rathod's IAS Academy. So in this prelims test series, there are about 30 tests which include CSAT and as well as GS. So this will be very, very useful. And next one is mains answer writing course. So one important thing I want to share with you here is, so one important deciding factor of whether your name will be present in your finalist or not, that is your mains. So if you perform well in mains, then you can expect your name will be there in finalist. If not, you can't see your name in finalist. So in this mains answer writing course, we are mainly focusing on your static syllabus of GS1 to GS4, and on every Sunday there will be essay and as well as case study practice as well. So this course is extremely useful, and this new batch of February batch is going to start from February 1st, and the registration will be open from January 25th onwards. So please try to join this course. Apart from this, we also have foundational course, and as well as if you want to take individual course, you can take individual courses like economy, history, geography, etc. And details of these courses are given in description box. So please try to see once. And if you want to talk to me directly regarding these courses, you can call to this number 8074765513. Okay. And now let's come back and let us see today's questions and try to answer these questions. First question is about evergreen forest. In Tamil Nadu region, evergreen forests are found despite of hot and dry summers. So what are the reasons? So try to read the statements and give the answer. And next question is regarding sacred groves. So try to read the statements and give the correct option. Okay, select the correct statements. So by this, I am concluding today. So I want to say one thing. Even though I didn't record completely here, even though when I am talking, I am getting some wheezing sound. So even though I want to continue this session, because Saturday I came up with a PD. I already did my work, but because of my extremely bad throat, I didn't record the lecture. And I think you might have saw that 2 minutes video and you might know about my condition on that day. Even though I provided a PDF in Telegram channel, only yesterday we missed this Hindu analysis. So if time permits, I will be covering those important articles in our upcoming lectures. Don't worry about that. So by this, I'm concluding today. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to Rathod's IAS Academy and try to join these courses. That will be extremely useful and you can trust us 100%. So by this, I'm concluding. Thank you so much.